My name is Ashley. I just would like to take a moment and welcome you to my anatomy project on the digestive system. So this is part of my 200-hour yoga teacher training. It's an overview of our digestive system, all the different organs involved, how our digestive system works, and then we'll take a more in-depth look at certain processes and parts so we have a deeper understanding of our digestive system. We'll then go on to discuss the effects of yoga on digestion, and then I have a 30-minute vinyasa flow to share with you all that I've developed to specifically help with digestion. So I'm going to share my screen here, and here we go. Start my presentation. All right. Let's close that. All right, so our bodies use the process of digestion to break food down into a form that can be absorbed by the body and used for fuel. So I'm sure most of you have a sense of what digestion is. It may seem like a common sense concept, but I want you to truly consider for a moment this middle image that says food is fuel. Just consider for a moment what that means. Everything we eat, everything we ingest affects our body, which in turn affects our mind and soul. So really what I want to discuss today is not only how digestion works in a literal sense, but also just the importance of mindfulness in eating, understanding the importance of what we eat and how that affects our digestion, but also just understanding how our digestive system works and how yoga can come into play in our digestive system. And I think when we have a deeper understanding of the logistics behind it, we can understand how different twists, different stretches, and just mindfulness can affect our digestion. So just basically, our digestive system organs are the mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, anus. We also have gallbladder, liver, and pancreas. So the gastrointestinal tract, or you might have heard it described as the GI tract, is a long tube that connects the mouth with the anus and measures in total about 9 meters, which is about 30 feet long in adults. This includes all of the organs which are listed on the left side of the page: the mouth, esophagus, stomach, small, large intestine, and anus. Now, the organs on the right side of the page, gallbladder, liver, and pancreas, are described as accessory organs because food does not literally pass through them, but they're organs which assist in our digestion by secreting or storing substances which are needed for digestion. For example, the pancreas secretes enzymes which are used for breaking food down. The liver creates and secretes bile, and the gallbladder stores excess bile from the liver and also secretes bile. There are 4 main functions of digestion. The first is mechanical digestion, which is the actual physical breakdown of chunks of food into smaller pieces. When you first think of mechanical digestion, the first thought, of course, is chewing. It happens in the mouth. So it does mainly take place in the mouth through chewing, and it also happens in the stomach through churning of those strong stomach muscles. Second, we have chemical digestion. This is the chemical breakdown of complex food molecules into smaller, simpler nutrient molecules, which can then be absorbed by the blood. So chemical digestion actually begins in the mouth as well through saliva. And it also happens in the stomach with acid, specifically hydrochloric acid, but we'll go into that a little bit later. Chemical digestion, however, mostly occurs in the small intestine. That's where most of our enzymes and acids are interacting with our food. Third, we have absorption, which is the process in which substances pass into the bloodstream. Absorption mostly happens in the small intestine. And again, we'll get into that specifically a little bit later. And finally, we have elimination. Anything that the small intestine can't break down chemically or absorb passes into the large intestine as waste and eventually exits the body through the anus. All right, so to start our overview of the digestive system process, first we have the mouth. This is obviously the first digestive organ that we think of. The sight, smell, and taste of food stimulates the salivary glands in the mouth to release amylase, which starts the chemical digestion. So the salivary enzyme amylase actually helps start that chemical digestion of carbohydrates right away as soon as you start chewing your food. And again, obviously, mechanical digestion, potentially the most obvious example is your teeth chewing, gnawing, breaking up the food, and your tongue mixing the food around your mouth. Next up, we have the esophagus. The esophagus is a long, narrow tube that passes food from the pharynx to the stomach by peristalsis. So peristalsis is really important in our digestive process. It's an involuntary muscle contraction that moves rapidly along an organ like a wave. So peristalsis occurs in the esophagus. That's probably the easiest example to understand, is literally as you swallow, you feel your esophagus in a wave-like motion pulling food from your mouth, or liquid or whatever it may be, from your mouth into your stomach. All right, so next up we have the stomach. The entrance to the stomach is controlled by a muscle called a sphincter. So it opens to allow food to enter from the esophagus, and it also remains closed to prevent re-entry of food into the esophagus. The stomach is a sac-like organ with thick muscular walls. Those thick muscular walls enable those churning movements which aid in mechanical digestion, which help break down food into smaller pieces. And those churning movements also mixes the food with fluids that aid in the chemical digestion. So one of these important fluids is hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid is especially important, and this is why I wanted to note it, because it actually kills harmful bacteria in your food before they can be digested into your bloodstream. Next up, we have arguably the most important organ in the digestive process, and that would be the small intestine. It's often referred to as the workhorse of the digestive system because, frankly, it does kind of the most important parts, although every part is important, of course. Even though it's called the small intestine, it's actually very large. It's about 7 meters long, which is 23 feet. The small intestine is divided into 3 parts, which you can see outlined on the diagram here on the right. The first is the duodenum. This is the first and shortest part of the small intestine. This is where most chemical digestion takes place. So the duodenum does produce some digestive enzymes, but most of the digestive enzymes are produced in the pancreas, and they're secreted here. The liver also produces bile and secretes the bile here. And again, as a reminder, the gallbladder stores any excess bile and secretes it in the duodenum as well. So once the food has been broken up and partially digested by the stomach, it moves into this section of the small intestine, the duodenum, and this is where most of those chemicals and the enzymes really get to work to chemically digest our food. The next section of the small intestine is the jejunum. This is where most nutrients are absorbed into the blood. So the image I just brought up is a microscopic image which shows the lining of the jejunum. So it's lined by, or jejunum, excuse me, I always say that wrong. So the jejunum is lined by a mucous membrane covered with millions of microscopic finger-like projections called villi. So this image, the pink kind of finger-like image here, those are what the villi look like. So these finger-like projections really increase the surface area, which allows for easier absorption of nutrients. And finally, we have the ileum, which is the third part of the small intestine. Basically, it's kind of like the last chance for any remaining nutrients to be absorbed. The ileum is also covered with the villi, which helps absorb any remaining nutrients here. Next up, we have the large intestine. You can see the large intestine is a relatively wide tube that connects the small intestine and the anus. It is also divided into three parts, just like the small intestine: the cecum, the colon, and the rectum. So the cecum is the first part. This is where waste enters into the large intestine, and it enters here into the cecum in a mostly liquid state. So then the waste then passes from the cecum to the colon, which is the second part of the large intestine. And the colon is where all excess water, excess liquid is absorbed. So basically the colon sucks all of the liquid out of that liquid waste and produces a solid waste, which is referred to as feces. The next part is the rectum, which takes and compacts the accumulated feces, stores and compacts the accumulated feces until the sphincter, which is again similar to the sphincter which separates the esophagus and the stomach, is the same kind of muscle. So the sphincter controls the anus, which obviously after sending signals to your brain eventually opens and lets the feces pass through. So I want to note here the importance of bacteria. So our large intestine is filled with millions, billions, probably more, trillions of bacteria, which make up what's referred to as our gut microbiome. So I have trillions of bacteria are living in our large intestine. They perform all sorts of important functions, including producing vitamins, controlling the growth of harmful bacteria. They break down indigestible food components. They help prevent colon cancer, break down toxins, perform all types of important functions, which we'll get to a little bit more in depth later. All right. Oops. Oh, actually, we can watch this video now. This video is going to explain the importance of our gut microbiome and the importance of our diet in the balancing of this bacteria. So let's see here. Oh shoot, and it's gonna have a commercial. Oh no. And hopefully it won't take too long. I had it open and I should have clicked. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this is a TED Talk from the TED Education portion.
Trillions of bacteria, viruses, and fungi live on or inside of us, and maintaining a good, balanced relationship with them is to our advantage. Together, they form the gut microbiome, a rich ecosystem that performs a variety of functions in our bodies. The bacteria in our guts can break down food the body can't digest, produce important nutrients, regulate the immune system, and protect against harmful germs. We don't yet have the blueprint for exactly which good bacteria a robust gut needs, but we do know that it's important for a healthy microbiome to have a variety of bacterial species. Many factors affect our microbiomes, including our environment, medications like antibiotics, and even whether we were delivered by C-section or not. Diet, too, is emerging as one of the leading influences on the health of our guts. And while we can't control all these factors, we can manipulate the balance of our microbes by paying attention to what we eat. Dietary fiber from foods like fruits, vegetables, nuts, legumes, and whole grains is the best fuel for gut bacteria. When bacteria digest fiber, they produce short-chain fatty acids that nourish the gut barrier, improve immune function, and can help prevent inflammation, which reduces the risk of cancer. And the more fiber you ingest, the more fiber-digesting bacteria colonize your gut. In a recent study, scientists exchanged the regular high-fiber diets of a group of rural South Africans with the high-fat, meat-heavy diets of a group of African Americans. After just 2 weeks on the high-fat, low-fiber, Western-style diet, the rural African group showed increased inflammation of the colon as well as a decrease of butyrate. That's a short-chain fatty acid thought to lower risk of colon cancer. Meanwhile, the group that switched to a high-fiber, low-fat diet had the opposite result. So what goes wrong with our gut bacteria when we eat low-fiber processed foods? Lower fiber means less fuel for the gut bacteria, essentially starving them until they die off. This results in less diversity and hungry bacteria. In fact, some can even start to feed on the mucus lining. We also know that specific foods can affect gut bacteria. In one recent microbiome study, scientists found that fruits, vegetables, tea, coffee, red wine, and dark chocolate were correlated with increased bacterial diversity. These foods contain polyphenols, which are naturally occurring antioxidant compounds. On the other hand, foods high in dairy fat, like whole milk, and sugar-sweetened sodas were correlated with decreased diversity. How food is prepared also matters. Minimally processed, fresh foods generally have more fiber and provide better fuel. So lightly steamed, sautéed, or raw vegetables are typically more beneficial than fried dishes. There are also ways of preparing food that can actually introduce good bacteria, also known as probiotics, into your gut. Fermented foods are teeming with helpful probiotic bacteria like lactobacillus and bifidobacteria. Originally used as a way of preserving foods before the invention of refrigeration, fermentation remains a traditional practice all over the world. Foods like kimchi, sauerkraut, tempeh, and kombucha provide variety and vitality to our diets. Yogurt is another fermented food that can introduce helpful bacteria into our guts. That doesn't necessarily mean that all yogurt is good for us, though. Brands with too much sugar and not enough bacteria may not actually help. These are just general guidelines. More research is needed before we fully understand exactly how any of these foods interact with our microbiomes. We see positive correlations, but the insides of our guts are difficult places to make direct observations. For instance, we don't currently know whether these foods are directly responsible for the changes in diversity, or if something more complicated is happening. While we're only beginning to explore the vast wilderness inside our guts, we already have a glimpse of how crucial our microbiomes are for digestive health. The great news is we have the power to fire up the bacteria in our bellies. Fill up on fibers, fresh and fermented foods, and you can trust your gut to keep you going strong.
All right, so that's just a nice quick video, and I want you to keep that in mind as, oops, oh, there we go. I want you to keep that in mind as we move forward in discussing different ways, the positive effects of yoga on digestion. So I describe yoga to myself, at least, as the magical fruit because it really is an all-encompassing way to help improve your digestion. So the first and most obvious positive effect of yoga on the digestive system is that it's like an internal massage of the digestive tract. So this massage encourages an increase in blood flow and tissue oxygenation. This massage also strengthens the muscles of these internal organs, improving their overall function and their interactions with other organs. The internal massage encourages the body's natural process of peristalsis, which if you remember, peristalsis is that natural wave-like muscular contraction throughout our organs that really is the leading force to the movement of our food along that GI tract, that gastrointestinal tract. So as we practice yoga, the types of poses we would like to look for that help with that internal massage are twists, stretching and stretching our abdominal muscles, strengthening our abdominal muscles, because when the muscles around our abdomen are stronger, that means the muscles that are interacting with our organs and our actual organ muscles are stronger, which helps peristalsis function more effectively. Another positive effect of yoga on digestion is reduced stress. When we experience stress, our body enters into fight or flight mode. Our digestion system shuts down. The contractions of our digestive muscles slow. The secretions of, the enzymes, the acids slow or can even cease. Digestion slows or even stops and then must try to reboot once the stressful situation has passed. So yoga helps us more easily manage our stress by helping us have a more normalized nervous system. It helps us more calmly react to an anxiety-filled situation, a stressful situation throughout our day with a more peaceful mind. Finally, one of the most important positive effects of yoga on digestion is the yogic diet. So yoga promotes a plant-based whole food diet, which helps in turn lead to a healthier gut microbiome, which we learned about in the video explaining how high fiber plant-based diet is the best way to increase the diversity in your bacteria and your gut microbiome. So this higher diversity of bacteria helps improve our digestion, helps us have regular bowel movements. It helps our body digest more complex foods. So the yogic diet also encourages mindful eating. So that's something as simple as literally paying attention when you're chewing more slowly, which helps with mechanical and chemical digestion. But it also just means being thoughtful about what you're eating. Eating things that are healthful foods that are going to bring nutrients that are important to your health instead of just eating whatever's around. Yogic diet also will boost your metabolism, increase energy, reduces risk of chronic diseases, and of course, as you all know, really improves your mood. All right, oops, the video again. All right, so finally, we've got to my favorite part. So feel free to, if you don't have your mat set up, if you're not sitting on your mat, go ahead and get on your mat. And we are going to, feel free to join me, or you can simply watch and bookmark this video for later. But this is my vinyasa flow, and I actually have it here. I'll just go here for improved digestion. So this is a flow that I kind of developed, and it will help improve your digestion. So let's get started. Everyone, my name is Ashley, and today I'll be sharing with you my 30-minute vinyasa flow for digestion. So again, this is about a 25-30-minute flow that's designed with all of the twists and bends and stretch that really help your digestive system. So this flow is really best to do right away in the morning after you've just had some water and you haven't had any heavy breakfast yet. And yeah, it'll help get your digestive system working and get you off to a great start in your day. So without further ado, let's come to our mats. All right, we're going to start in hero's pose. So come back to rest on your heels. You can let your heels kind of fall wide and let your bottom just rest into your heels. Bring your hands to your knees here in the front. If this isn't comfortable for you, if you have tight quadriceps, you can place a pillow or blanket or even blocks here to sit on. That way you're not straining in any way. We want this to be a comfortable pose. Just take a few deep breaths, let your eyes close. Notice your breath and how it is today. We want this practice to be calming because our digestive system works best when we're less stressed, more relaxed, and happier. Just take a few moments to get acquainted with your breath. Notice if it's shallow, if it's deep, if it's fast, if it's slow. Maybe just encourage it to lengthen slightly and slow down slightly. I'd like to set an intention for our practice today of calm. When you feel frustrated, when you feel anxious, when you feel fear or stress, your digestive system pauses, basically. And those interruptions make it difficult for our body to process our food, our whatever we ingest, our beverages, food, drinks, whatever it may be. It makes it difficult for our body to process that in an efficient way. You can blink your eyes open. Whenever you feel a moment of frustration or anxiety in our practice today, just bring yourself back to your breath and bring yourself back to our intention of calm. All right, so let's get started. Let's come forward onto all fours. Your hands, your wrists are beneath your shoulders. Your knees are beneath your hips. Tops of your feet are pressing into the floor. On your next inhale, let your belly drop to the floor. Your tailbone rises and the crown of your head rises. Almost as if they could reach back and touch one another. Cow pose. As you exhale, let your tailbone curve to the ground, the top of your head curve to the ground. Your back arches, your shoulder blades widen. Cat pose. Inhale, come to cow pose. Feel the widening across your chest, across your collarbones. And exhale, curve your spine, stretching the back of your muscles. Cat. Just continue with your own breath at your own pace. You on your next cow pose, as you inhale and stretch forward, you can do a few side bends, reaching one side towards the other. Maybe make a few circles if that feels good to you. Staying with your breath, inhale as you lengthen, exhale as you flex. When you're ready, come to a neutral spine. Tuck your toes. Inhale, lengthen your spine, and exhale, bring your hips high, press into your heels, downward facing dog. Take a few moments to pedal your heels here. We always say walk the dog. Feel the backs of your legs come alive, maybe come up on your tippy toes, press down into your heels, rock your hips side to side. Staying connected with your breath here. If you feel your back rounding in downward dog, you can bend your knees slightly so that your hips can more fully rotate and your back can remain long and strong. On an inhale, bring your right leg up into the air. Feel your heel reaching back to the back wall of the room. And as you exhale, look forward between your hands and gently bring your foot up between your hands. If you need to take a few steps, that's perfectly okay. Your next inhale, gently rise. You can place your hands on your knee if you're finding your balance. When you're ready, inhale your arms up high alongside your head, crescent lunge. You're strong in your back leg, flexed. You're pressing into the ball of your left foot. Your right leg is strong, 90-degree angle. You can let your gaze rise to meet your hands. And feel the stretch, maybe slight arch in your back. Exhale, bring your hands down, framing your foot. Bring your left hand inside your right foot. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale, twist your right hand open to the sky, letting your gaze follow your hand. Feel the twist in your upper back, in your mid-back. Feel your hips strong, pulling together. Your legs scissoring together. Feel that twisting in your abdomen, massaging all of those digestive organs. Exhale your right hand down to frame your foot, and actually bring your right hand inside your right foot. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, twist your left hand open to the sky. Again, feel that wonderful stretching, opening in those left ribs. The twisting in your abdomen, massaging those organs, those muscles. One more breath, and exhale, bring your left hand down. You can gently bring your left knee to the floor. Bring your hands to your front knee. And as you exhale, gently push forward, deepening the stretch in that front hamstring on your left leg. Excuse me, the quadriceps of your left leg. If you like a little deeper stretch, you can reach back with your left hand and gently grasp your leg. Oh, actually, I'm going to go this way. Reach back with your right hand. Excuse me, I would like to twist here. Your left hand is on your right knee. Your right hand is gently holding your left foot behind you, twisting in that abdomen. Exhale, gently release your foot to the floor. Bring your hands back to frame your right foot. Tuck your back toes and bring your right foot back to meet the left. Hips go high, heels low, downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths here. On your next inhale, raise your left leg high, stretching the heel to the back of the room. Feel the extension from the top of your head all the way to the bottom of your foot. Exhale, gently bring your left foot forward between your hands. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge on the other side. Take a few breaths here to get comfortable in your crescent lunge pose. Exhale, bring your hands down to the mat. Your right hand inside your left foot. Inhale, extend. Exhale, left hand to meet the sky. Close twist. In your next exhale, bring your left hand down and to the inside of your left foot. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, right hand to meet the sky. Open twist. Again, feel the opening in those right side ribs. If you notice your back leg falling, just press up. Engage those muscles around your knee. Press into your ball of your foot, extending your heel, almost as if you're pressing up against a wall. Exhale, right hand to meet the left. Gently come down on your right knee. Rise up, hands on your left knee. A twist this time. This is a low lunge with a quadricep stretch. So we're going to gently raise our right foot and grab on with our left hand on our right foot. And as you inhale, lengthen. And exhale, maybe you twist a little bit more, letting your gaze fall over your left shoulder. And one more breath here. And gently release your foot to the floor. Bring your hands to frame your left foot. And bring your left foot back to meet the right. Hey, wiggle your legs a little bit. And let your hips rise high, heels low, downward facing dog. Let's take a few breaths here. Make a big inhale. And open mouth, sigh, exhale. That feels so good. And again, on our next inhale, raise your right leg high. Exhale, forward between your hands. As you inhale, drop your left heel. Let your right leg bend to 90 degrees. Come forward, warrior one. And exhale, come right away, open up your arms, your chest to the side of your mat. Let your gaze fall over your right hand, warrior two. Your right heel should line up with the heel of your left foot or the middle of your foot. Your back left foot is either parallel to the mat or about 45-degree angle. Your leg is strong and straight. Your front leg is bent about 90 degrees. Your arms are open to a T. Your gaze is resting over your right fingers. Take a breath or two here. Your next inhale, gently rise, straighten your right leg. Hinge forward a few inches, and then pivot. Drop your right hand to your shin, your left hand to the sky. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Feel the opening in your side left ribs. As you inhale, they expand. If this puts any tension in your neck to let your gaze rise, you can also gaze down at your bottom foot. If you feel any tension in your knee here, just bring a micro bend into your knee. We don't need any unnecessary tension. On your next inhale, gently bend your right knee as you come up, and exhale low to 90 degrees as you come back to warrior two. Your next inhale, drop your left hand behind your back, flip your right palm toward the sky, reach forward, and exhale, bring it up overhead. Peaceful warrior. Feel a lovely stretch in your right ribs this time. On your next exhale, gently bring your arms cartwheeling to the floor, framing your right foot. Bring your right foot back to meet your left. And exhale, extend downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg high. Exhale, bring your left foot between your hands. As you inhale, drop your right heel, rise high, warrior one. And exhale, pivot your body open, warrior two. Again, ensure that your left knee is moving directly over your middle toe. Your arms are strong, extended. Your heels are aligning with each other or heel with the arch of your foot. Your back leg is strong, stabilizing you. Your front leg is at a 90-degree angle. Take a breath here. On your next inhale, gently rise, straighten your left leg, hinge forward a few inches, and simply pivot, drop your left hand to your shin, your right hand high to the sky, Trikonasana on our left side. And here we feel our right ribs opening, expanding as we inhale. Again, if you feel tension in your neck, you can look down at your left foot. If you feel tension in your knee, you can bring a micro bend into that knee. Or you can always use a block as well, or a water bottle or something to rest your hand on. One more big inhale, and exhale. Your next inhale, gently rise back to warrior two, and exhale low into that front leg, 90 degrees. On your next inhale, drop your right hand behind your back, flip your palm, and exhale as you reach up and over, peaceful warrior. Expanding those left ribs, your left side body. Really giving all of our organs a wonderful stretch and twist today. On your next exhale, cartwheel your arms down to frame your foot. Bring your left back to meet your right. And exhale, downward facing dog. Take a few big breaths here. A few open mouth sighs. Let out any tension. Wiggle your legs if you want. Our next inhale, gently come forward to all fours. Release the tops of your feet into the floor. Let your hips come back slightly as you walk your arms forward, eventually letting your forehead come to rest on the floor, extended puppy pose. So your hips should be about over your knees. Your arms are extended long, your fingers reaching to the front of your mat. Tops of your feet are on the floor. If you need more balance or more stability, you can tuck your toes. Inhale, gently rise. You bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. And gently walk your knees forward through your hands and come back to a seated position. Feet on the floor. And we're actually going to come all the way back to our backs, down to our backs. You can tuck your shoulder blades slightly under your back, down closer along your spine. And as you inhale, bring your knees to your chest, your right hand on your right knee, your left hand on your left knee. As you bring your knees closer, feel the widening in your lower back. You can rock side to side a little bit here. Just feel the massaging in those muscles. It feels so good. On an inhale, gently extend your left leg long. Oops. Your right leg is still to your chest. Just feel what it feels like, if it feels different, to have one leg up instead of two. You point and flex your feet. You roll your ankles to the right, and then roll to the left. Now place your left hand on the outside of your right knee. Your right arm comes straight out to the side, and gently pull your left leg over to the left, your right leg over to the left, and let your gaze fall to the right. This is a supine twist. And this twist and this Stretching is exactly what's perfect for all of those digestive organs that are, generally speaking, located in our abdomen and torso. If you feel your right shoulder coming off the mat, you can bring your leg a little closer to center. Just respect where your body is at today. On your next inhale, gently bring your leg back to center and bring your left leg up to your chest. Give them both a squeeze, maybe a little rock. Then on an inhale, extend your right leg long and bring your left knee close to your chest. And again, just observe the difference in one knee versus two. You point and flex your toes, circle your ankle to the right and to the left. I don't know if you can hear in the video, I have such crunchy ankles. Feels really good to stretch them. And again, let's bring our right hand outside our left knee, our left arm opens wide, and we gently bring our knee over to the right side this time, letting your gaze fall to the left. Supine twist on our left side. Yoga is all about balance. We want both sides to be equal. We want both sides to feel balanced. And when we have balance in our body, balance in our mind and soul, that's when our digestive system works perfectly. Take one more round of breath here. And on your next inhale, gently rise back to center. Give your knees one more squeeze. Maybe bring them close together this time. Even bringing your forehead up to meet your knees in a tight, squeeze yourself into a tight, tight ball. As tight as you can go. And gently extend. Release your knees. Release your legs long. Let your feet come to the edges of your mat. Your toes splaying wide, your knees opening to the sides. Let your arms come to rest by your side, palms facing up or down, your choice. Take one big inhale here. As you exhale, feel your body melting into the floor. Let any tension go that you're holding on to. Release your temples. Release your third eye. Let your lips come closed, but release your jaw. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Shavasana. Notice where your body touches the floor and feel the weight of your body, the strength of gravity pulling you down. And welcome that. Thank you for the support. It allows us to release, fully relax. Release your belly. Release your hips, your upper legs, lower legs, ankles, toes. Just let your breathing return totally to your normal rhythm. Shavasana is so important for our digestive system because when we bring moments of rest, of peace into our day, we allow our body to function in the way it's designed. And you start to wiggle your toes, rub your fingers with your thumb, encircle your ankles and wrists. And gently bring your knees into your chest. Maybe rock side to side. And then come down onto your one side, whichever's more comfortable. Let your arm be your pillow as you come into a fetal position for just a moment. And just notice how that feels different. Appreciate a moment of rest. Using your other arm, gently press yourself up to a seated position. Choose whatever seat you like, trying to keep your eyes closed if you can. Let your hands come to rest. Just take a moment to thank your body for coming to practice today. Thank yourself for taking the time to do something calming for your mind, your body, and nourishing. Bring your hands to heart center in a prayer position, or you can place one hand over the other over your heart. Take a moment to remember our intention of calm today. Bring that forward with you throughout your day. If you encounter any moments of stress, anxiety, fear, anger, breathe and refocus on that intention of calm. Your body will thank you for it. Gently blink your eyes open. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is the first time I'm sharing, so I'm a little bit nervous. I really appreciate you all being here with me and supporting me. Namaste. Okay, so that is it for my vinyasa practice that I developed. Yeah, so I've been doing it for about a week now, and maybe it's too soon to tell, but I feel, I don't know if it's, psychosomatic or not, but I feel it is making an improvement in my digestion, but I think we'll need a longer trial to see for sure. All right, here are just my cited sources. I'll just leave that up as I kind of finish up my presentation. So I just want to thank everyone again for your attention. And I know how precious everyone's time is nowadays. So I really appreciate if you have watched my video, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day. It really means a lot. I think that's pretty much all I have to share about the digestive system. We really discussed the processes, the different organs involved, and of course, most importantly, how yoga can affect our digestion on a daily basis. So with that being said, feel free to reach out to me on Facebook. I'm in the private groups if you have any questions or want to discuss anything. And you can find the yoga video obviously here. But you can also just YouTube, or I can maybe put a link on here, I'm not sure. You can also just search on YouTube. I made that yoga for digestion video public, so anyone can view it. So you can, if you want to practice the digestion video with me, you can feel free to do that. And, oh, there I am. Okay, I'm not sure how to make that bigger, but just want to say thank you to everyone again. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my project, and I will see you in class. Okay, stop share and end. Thank you. Bye.